Okay, so first of all, this is our problem. A ladder 2.4 meters long, placed 1.2 meters away from the base of a wall. What is the angle the ladder makes with the ground? Is that a Pythagoras question? No, because we're not after how far up the wall it goes. We're just after the angle. Yep. Okay. So to do any trig question, we're going to follow some sort of steps to solve these particular problems. Okay. So these are the steps that you're going to solve. Sorry, the steps you're going to follow to solve this. So the first thing is to draw and label a triangle. Here's the problem. So we're going to go, here's our ladder. It is reaching up a wall. Sorry, I should probably draw the wall. So there's our concrete wall. You can imagine that. There's our ladder. There's the, you want me to draw the grass? Because that's not grass. So the ladder, 2.4 meters away, 1.2 meters away from the wall. You happy with that right angle triangle? Yeah. We're after the angle the ladder makes with the ground. So what we're doing is we're actually after that there, aren't we? Now, does anyone know what that symbol means? That's theta. Does anyone know what theta is besides? Theta is the Greek letter theta. Okay. It is, we use x like for any unknown variable. When we're talking about unknown angle, we generally use theta. Okay, so theta and x are very similar. Does that make sense? You happy with that? Okay, so that's what we're after. First step is to draw and label the triangle. Boom, done that. Label O, A, and H. Does anyone remember what O and H stood for yesterday? Yep. Hypotenuse. Yeah, she's a tricky one. So which is the hypotenuse in this particular problem? The ladder. Thank you. Which is the adjacent? Yeah, the one that's next to the angle. So that's my adjacent. And the opposite is the one that is opposite the angle. Okay, so that's what I've done. So far that makes sense, doesn't it? You don't need to write this down, guys, because this is going to be up on OneNote. It's going to be on YouTube. So now we're going to decide which ratio to use. Now, I mentioned to you guys yesterday about the SOHCAHTOA. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to write down SOHCAHTOA. Now I mentioned to you yesterday, what does the S, the C, and the T stand for? Perfect. What does the O, the H, and the A stand for? And the hypotenuse. Yep. So this one here, we've got adjacent T. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to pick the ones with adjacent. I've got my hypotenuse, don't I? So I'm going to tick my hypotenuses, and I've got the angle. So I'm actually going to use car. Do I have any information about the opposite? Do I want to know anything about the opposite? No. So in other words, I'm going to cross out the ones with the opposite in them, and there is my car. I'm going to use the cosine triangle. So far, making sense? Next step is I'm going to draw my formula. It's like, what? I'm going to draw this here. Okay, I'm going to draw that there, and that stands for cosine, adjacent, hypotenuse. Cut. Happy? Some of the stuff is new, so if it's not happy, don't worry about it too much. Now, what do you think I'm going to do? Not complete the formula. Oh, that's right here. By that, I mean, by completing the formula, I mean substitute in here, because A is 1.2, isn't it? H is 2.4. Okay, so that's completing the table. Completing the formula now is the cosine of the angle is 1.2 divided by 2.4. Okay, that's just that triangle is a simple triangle. That means, what do you think that symbol there is going to mean? I knew they'll do that. What does that horizontal line mean? Divide. What is this vertical line going to mean? No. Multiply. Yeah. That's what. Again, this again. I've not shown you much, but don't worry about it too much if you don't understand it. So, from there, what is 1.2 over 2.4? What is that? It's a half, eh? So the cosine of my angle is a half. That there is some maths that's going to be quite tricky at some points. So we're going, without a calculator, we're going to go, I'm going to allow you to estimate. So pretty a good, accurate estimation, but no, don't go into 5 decimal places, just go to 1 to 2 decimal places. Now what are we going to do? If we had a calculator, what I'd do is I'd go boom, 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 my calculator give an answer, but we don't. So what are we going to do? We're going to use our Eaton tables. Okay. Now, which Eaton table do you think I'm going to use? The sine, the cosine, or the tangent one? Okay, cosine. Here's my cosine tangent. What is the ratio I'm looking for again? 0.5. So I'm now looking in here for 0.5. And I know where I'm looking. You guys don't. You will shortly. Where I'm looking is just there. 60. Now you remember reading those tables from squares. That is 60.0. That is 60.0. Okay? So the angle, going back to, yeah, the angle that's what you put on your calculator. So that's my answer. So the angle the ladder makes with the ground is 60 degrees. Okay? Now that is the process we're going to do ultimately, hopefully by the end of maybe this period. You happy with that? Does that seem well beyond anyone here? You said yes? One? Yeah, okay. Anyone else think they can't do it? Okay. I guarantee with a calculator, she's going to be much easier. The hardest thing is going to be doing this step here without a calculator. Okay? And the maths around that calculation. Any issues?